got a song to sing, I got a story to tell, I got some words to write, I hope they find you well. I got a song to sing, I got a story to tell, I got some words to write, I hope they find you well.
Well, Keelan, it's so wonderful to talk to you. And how are you today?
Thanks for having me. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, quite chilled. It's been a rare sunny day in Manchester. So yeah, it's looking a bit grey now actually, but yeah, it's been a nice day.
It's great to talk to you. And, first and foremost, you've had a great career. You have 3 albums now on Gunwater Records. This latest one is Constellation, which is a brilliant album. So got to give you your flowers for that.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you like
fantastic.
it.
It's been inspiring to hear about your story, when researching this album and kind of going deeper into your catalog, because I will say Constellation was my introduction to you. But it seems like collaboration was a big part of going into a bit of a new direction and evolution of your sound for Constellation. So I was going to see if you could kind of talk to me about that. And I think a good place to start would be Wandering Mind. That's a great track from Constellation. And it seems like that might have been the start of that. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely Wandering Minds sort of set off the sort of sound world that we wanted to delve into for this album. It was kind of like I'm always working on multiple tunes in various ways, and I guess that was one that I had on the go that I was like, oh, this is a bit different for us. It stemmed from a collaboration with a good friend of mine called Caoilfhionn Rose, who is based in Wales, and we were just passing back and forth bits that he had made in his home bedroom studio. He kind of had the foundation of the tune and sent it to us, me and my husband Rich, who I work with a lot producing my music. And so that sparked it all off. And then there are other people who feature on that tune. George and Smart from the band Mammal Hands, who are also on Gondwana Records. He features on that one. So yeah, it just collaboration has always been a big part of my musical process, really. I really love working with other people, and you just learn so much through experiencing other people's kind of processes. It's definitely a big part of the way I work.
That's wonderful. There's so much hope and positivity in this record. And I wanted to ask you what Constellation really means to you as far as that overall message of the album.
Sure, yeah. I guess it's definitely got filled with a lot of hope, and kind of I guess the main sort of encompassing theme was kind of thinking about like this moment in time. It's kind of my own little constellation, of I guess just always acknowledging that life moves on and that there is some hope that things will maybe get better, or that time heals certain things. There's lots of there's lots of those kinds of themes in my songs. Just that kind of inner sort of self-growth as well is a big one, I guess. I'm always kind of trying to talk to myself in these songs in a way, trying to coax myself into kind of picking myself up and just getting on with it kind of thing. There's a lot of that, really. But yeah, I think this album definitely marks a bit of a hopeful kind of moment of there's stuff to be done and stuff to say and lots of things to look forward to.
Thinking about the album, I think Josephine is a good example of that for me.
Definitely. That song I always had in mind with that song, that idea of what would I say to my younger self? What would I say to someone who was maybe worried about things in the world, worried about, their where their life's going, and kind of that's where the first verse kind of sparked from, don't worry, don't hurry, things will unfold in time kind of things are some of the lyrics. and then Josephine, I kind of was thinking about Josephine is actually a real person, my friend's little girl, and I kind of imagined myself kind of talking to her, and how like we've had some nice conversations over, like when I've met her, she's really sweet and full of like wonder. So it was really inspiring, kind of thinking about that. Yeah.
Something that I really love is you can totally get immersed in this album. My favorite art tends to break my heart and give me hope at the same time, and I think Constellation does that beautifully.
That's lovely.
But I was going to say too, I think Momentary is a continuation of those themes that we're talking about too, and that almost seemed like an interesting process, the progression of that song. Can you kind of tell me how you were able to come up with that one? It just seems unique.
Yeah, thinking back about processes, because we kind of work in lots of different ways, and some of the songs have been, maybe more conventional than others. And so Momentary was one of those ones where I think me and Rich, my husband, we were just having a jam, like just kind of freestyling, and like I was playing the piano. That's another thing. This album is a lot more piano based, which is my first instrument. So it was kind of a return for me back to the piano. And I was just really enjoying playing like freely. And so I think that song, it was actually two songs that we sort of stitched together. So there were two separate ideas, and hence there's like a bit of a unusual, unexpected maybe key change halfway through, and it goes into the more like rolling chords. So that's how that one began, just through, kind of getting the piano part down and getting that energy. And and I guess the lyrics came hand in hand with that, really. It again, kind of those ideas of like, moments that are fleeting, and that things aren't sort of permanent, that time will move on, and you'll kind of get out of that moment if it's not a good one. That was
Absolutely.
the kind of idea.
Yeah, that's a beautiful message, that I think means so much for people to hear, especially, diving into this album. Those themes are really positive and important. And you kind of were talking about how piano was your first instrument. Can you talk to me about your first introductions to the piano and how you got into music?
Yeah, well, I was really lucky. I had a really wonderful piano teacher when I was a kid. I started lessons when I was about 7 or 8, and it kind of took a while to get into it. I think I wasn't much of a practicer back then, and I was just kind of working through the grades and doing like kind of exams in the piano, so it wasn't always that fun, but I loved my teacher. I actually still have the odd lesson with her now. She's really like encouraging and has always been a big support for me, so I feel dead lucky that I just had that right fit with a teacher who just inspired me. And so that was my starting point with the piano. Actually, my Granny Rose bought me a piano as well, which I was very grateful for, because obviously, it's wonderful to be able to have the opportunity to learn music and have that in the home.
I think it's great that you've been able to maintain that such an inspiring relationship for so long too, and how it's still benefiting you today. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, for sure. I've always found music really therapeutic. Like it's just, I kind of, so I was learning like the more kind of classical stuff with my teacher, and then as I kind of got to be a teenager, I think I started kind of working at my own songs, and like it kind of spiraled from there, that I just really found myself just wanting to make more music.
That's wonderful. I think for an artist, like I do stand-up comedy, but I think writing is kind of an exercise of being confidently vulnerable.
Yeah, definitely. Very, exposing sometimes.
But it's beautiful when you can do that in a way that you've done on Constellation, where you've, you know, express things that we can overcome, but that there is hope to overcome it, and there's so much fun on this album too. I think a track that really stands out to me where it just sounded like you had a blast making it would be a track like Simple, for example. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
So Simple was again one of those ones where I think we were just sort of jamming, and like we kind of realized at one stage of making this album, when we knew it was going to be an album, we felt that it was very mellow, and I do gravitate towards those more like melancholic kind of like tones. And I like, because music is just so kind of healing for me. Like I really enjoy just singing out, but then it was interesting purposefully trying to work in a different way to write something a bit brighter and a bit more kind of I don't know, like, yeah, upbeat, I guess, in a way. It's still fairly mellow, but
Sure.
we did have a lot of fun with that one. It's as is like the process with most of the songs on the album, we're just really keen on experimenting and finding like new sounds and new ways of working. And so it's that was definitely more of an experiment, I think, that one, and just trying to open up and be more free and playful with it.
That's great. I just saw you were on tour, right?
Yeah, it's my first headline tour in the UK and Ireland. So yeah, we've got quite a lot of dates coming towards the end of this year and into next year. Actually, we've got more in the diary and more to announce. So it's very exciting.
I'm curious, as far as the evolution of these songs and the arrangements, has that been fun to kind of rediscover live?
Yes, it's been a process. Like we obviously you can't bring everyone on tour with you, and we have a lot of different musicians contributing to Constellation. So we've had to it's meant that Rich has had a lot to do. He's kind of put a lot of stuff onto a sampler, and he triggers lots of the soundscapes and a lot of the backing vocals, and he also sings and plays guitar and sometimes some bass, and I'm on the piano and a bit of guitar and singing. And then we also have been working with a saxophonist. Eleanor Coley's joined us on the last few dates, and we've played with another couple of friends as well have joined us on various gigs. So we're going out as a trio at the moment, which has been so fun. Maybe on some of the gigs, we're going to bring our drummer and bassist as and where we can, kind of thing. It's just sort of like making it work financially is tricky, but it's great. I think that like it's good to be versatile as well. So we've got the sound is maybe not quite. It's maybe different to the album in some ways, but I think we've got quite a full sound considering that there's only, three, sometimes just two of us.
That sounds so fun. Has there been anything unexpected that's happened on tour, kind of exploring these songs?
Oh yeah. Well, I think the joy of playing in this way is that we can kind of open it up a bit when there's like like with improvising and stuff, we've sort of messed around with how we can rework structures and stuff, and sometimes it's quite funny actually. On one of the gigs, like when Rich is triggering some of the beats, he's done it in like double time accidentally, and we've like gone into this like drum and bass almost version of a song. Like it's been interesting and a bit of a work in progress, but we've had a good time with it, and I'm just looking forward to doing more shows. It kind of surprised me how much I actually enjoyed the gigging, consecutively, because I was a bit daunted at first by how much we suddenly have in the diary, but I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, that's brilliant. So I saw Godwana and put some tracks from your live tour online. Are there any thoughts of doing like a live album?
Yes, wow. I mean, we did a live session. I guess that's what you've seen in Space Studios with the full band, and like it really kind of gave me an idea actually, because I was thinking, the way we've been making this album is quite a collage process and kind of sticking and piecing things together. And you can't really beat just having like musicians in the room all together and playing the tunes. And it definitely gives it a new lease of life and a new energy. So I've been thinking about what's next and where I'd like to go, in the next kind of album. And I'd definitely like to try and play more live, kind of recording the music, as it is as a whole, rather than sort of stitching it together. It would be really exciting to see what that brings to it. I think it would give a whole new dynamic and feel, really.
Absolutely. And I think it's cool too, because you just released a new track, like Lightning,
Yeah.
and it seems like a beautiful extension of what you did with Constellation. Can you talk to me a little bit about that song? And was that part of the Constellation sessions?
Yeah, it was recorded at a similar time to the album. It nearly was going to be on the album. We have more songs sort of ready to go that we were just kind of, with the album, we really wanted it to flow and be a body of work that really fitted and was really kind of that had that flow and kind of story to it. And somehow the Light Lightning song and a few others we just felt were best to not put all together. But I'm really glad that song's had sort of seen the light of day. It's quite a special song for me. It's that features Rich on the saxophone. Actually, he's really he was experimenting, just playing, I think, for the first time, and kind of just going with his feeling more than theory. It's great that he was able to do that.
Wow. Yeah, it's a brilliant track. I can't wait to see what comes next. But I have to ask, I don't see any US dates. Are you coming to see us at all?
I would love to. I would really love to. I mean, hopefully one day. I mean, we'll I'll keep you posted.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, I wanted to ask you a few questions because, an artist like you're constantly collaborating, evolving, expanding your sound. And it's been clear in the brilliant body of work that you've had so far. Do you have any dream collaborations you haven't been able to realize yet?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm such a fan of so many people in I'm an avid listener of music. So there definitely are some people who come to mind. I'd really love to work with Alabaster de Plume. He's a UK based artist, and like I just love his whole the sentiment behind his songs, the power, the emotion, sometimes the like playfulness. He's very varied, and I just think he's fantastic. There's also a singer from who I love called Raina Connolly, who's part of a band called The Breath. And I'd love to work with her. She's a massive kind of like inspiration to me. I could kind of reel off loads of people I'd love to work with. I love lots of musicians, but they're two who I'd really like to reach out to sometime, if possible.
That's great. I hope you do. Just random question, but what's the last song you listened to?
Oh, I just was listening to Izzy Yardley. She's just released an EP. I was actually listening to it just before that we came on for this chat, and I've just bought tickets to see her in. She's touring in the UK, and I've just bought tickets to see her in a couple of weeks in Manchester. Izzy Yardley. She's really beautiful, kind of nostalgic, folky sound. I'm a big fan.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, the fusion of the jazz, folk, even like trip hop sounds that you're able to kind of put all together. I think the first time I heard the term collage artist was in regards to you, and I love that concept of kind of putting those pieces together. I think you did it beautifully, and I really want to thank you for taking the time to talk with me today.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so nice, all your kind words. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So as far as what's next, when does your headlining tour start?
Well, it's kind of begun. We had we played London last week, and we're off to Huddersfield on Friday. They're kind of quite spaced out. It's quite a nice kind of paced tour, but then it gets a bit more chocker in a month or so. We've got like I think Newcastle, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Belfast, Dublin, all in a big chunk. So it's going to get increasingly more. But yeah, it's begun. So yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, my best to you and yours. Thank you for your brilliant album, all your work, and I look forward to seeing more of it. So thank you so much, Keelan.
Thank you. Lovely speaking to you.
Wonderful speaking to you.